Hello wonderful person and welcome to What the Math. This is Anton and today we're taking a look at the game called Factorio. Now what is this, why is this, and what's going to happen in this video, you'll find out in a second. So let's actually just start with this. And what I wanted to do is actually start with the game trailer that gives you a really good idea of what the game is like if you commit to it the long term. So Factorio is an indie game developed by a team from Prague, which is obviously in Czech Republic, and it's been in development for almost 4 years now, and it was actually funded through several crowdsourcing campaigns. And as you can probably tell from this trailer, it's developed into something of a complex beast. The developers behind this game often quote one of the Minecraft mods called Industrialcraft as the main inspiration for this title and its progression through development, but the actual gameplay is actually very unique compared to anything else on the market. And even in early access, this title has already sold over 100,000 copies, so technically it's actually already a pretty successful indie game. Now, why did I actually decide to pick this title to review? Well, there are actually several reasons, but the main reason for me personally is because it somehow reminds me of the old Command & Conquer or Starcraft 1 games, where I was never really into battling part, but I really loved base building aspect or gathering resources. As a matter of fact, I would usually just avoid all the battles, build up a huge wall of defenses and just try to mine as much as I could. And so this game actually really speaks to me because it allows me to do just that and then focus on building up tremendously complex industrial base. And on top of that, I feel like there are so many educational moments in this game that just can't be ignored. And the biggest lesson, to be honest, is actually the climate change. You know, the fact that the pollution essentially drives the monsters in this game to attack you. But you know what, we'll talk more about this later. So anyway, let's actually get into the game and let me show you what it's like when you start it, if you decide to purchase it. And before we get into the game, let's go through the menu very quick. You'll just see what it already has and what will be added to it later. This game will be mod friendly. There's no mods yet, but they're definitely coming soon. Also map editor, which allows you to change your map. If you don't like something about it, you can add more resources or remove resources or create certain difficult maps for your friends to explore. There's also multiplayer, so you can actually join other people and play with them. There's custom scenarios, which you can basically choose to play either in sandbox mode or supply mode. I haven't really explored these to detail yet, and I know there's more coming, but there's that as well. But really there's two main buttons. So there's campaign mode, which actually does have a storyline, and this is the tutorial, and I really recommend going through this because it will teach you how to play the game. And there is something called New Hope. This is where you start your campaign mode, and we'll actually go into this for a second. There's also these two things, and these are actually kind of like puzzles. So here you have a difficult mission. So for example, you have a small island with chests where you have to try to transfer things from one chest to another, and you have to do this as quick as possible or using as few resources as possible. And this one here gives you limited resources and fixed amount of time to do something. So there is all these like puzzle elements that you can explore as well. We're not going to go into that because they're actually kind of challenging. I'm going to show you a new map first, just to give you an idea of what this how this works and what this is like. You can basically select, you know, the way you want your map. These are all randomly generated. I'm going to actually choose this peaceful mode because I don't want to get attacked just yet, and we're going to generate a new map from scratch. And what I really like is that there's actually these tips and tricks that pop up right away, and they'll actually teach you a little bit more about the game. They'll show you some little tidbits about your economy, how to optimize things, how certain things work. And so this is a free play mode, basically a sandbox mode where I am right here. So this is me, and I start with nothing. I literally start with absolutely nothing. And the first thing you should be doing is, you know, just like in Minecraft, cut down some trees, get some rocks, get some resources going, and as soon as you have that, you can start constructing things. Now, in the beginning, you can only construct one mining drill and one stone furnace. Now, oh, there's even oil here. Cool. As I can kind of see here, there's not enough resources in this particular area. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm mining so slow, I'm actually going to create a pickaxe for myself, which is right here, iron axe. So there you go. Now I have an iron axe. It's going to be a lot faster for me to mine things. That's good. So I can get some coal. This is actually just for energy. And you know, just like in Minecraft, you basically go through this routine in the beginning where you just don't have anything yet. If you're playing with monsters enabled, you have to always watch out for the monster attack. And because I'm playing on the peaceful mode, I can actually show you what they look like. I'm gonna go to their base, which is, I think it's right here. And here they are. Here are the little critters in their little houses. And so the thing is, if you play on the peaceful mode, which I think is actually pretty realistic, you landed on this planet, you're just kind of an explorer. And the only reason they'll attack you is if you start polluting the atmosphere. If you actually start creating these factories that you saw in the trailer, if you start making a mess, if you start destroying the trees, and the trees will actually die if you start polluting, they will get really upset and start attacking you. The other thing you can do, obviously, is attack them back by pressing spacebar, and then you kind of die, and if you die, you know, that's it, game over. And I'm not sure how a lot of people will react to this, because there's actually only one life. If you basically die, that's it. You have to either load the game or restart the level from scratch. And because there's this perma-death, I'm not sure if a lot of people actually appreciate it, but I personally really like that. And as you can see, I'm now in a completely different area. It's a different map, started from scratch. There's a lot of copper here. But anyway, let's actually not attack anything. Let's create some factories, and I'll show you what you're going to be doing if you start playing this. Alright, so it looks like I found a very, very large deposit of coal right here. And so what we're going to do is, I'm going to place a burner mining drill right here, which will actually mine my coal. And you can kind of see on the bottom right there, it shows you how much resources you'll be getting. So we're going to place this here. Now, you can see that it needs energy. So for us to have this machine make more coal, we actually have to place coal in here. And then it will start producing more coal. And this already kind of creates an opportunity for you to create these elaborate self-feeding machines that will then produce more stuff. Now, as you can see, it kind of stopped. I can actually, what I can do now is, I believe I can place a chest here. There we go. And this will actually fill up my chest with all of this coal that I'll be now producing. Now, while it's doing that, let's actually see if we can make another one to start extracting iron. So we need to get more iron. We're gonna go collect some iron so we can actually produce another one of these things. As I'm mining iron, I actually have to also create a stone furnace so I can then try to turn it into what's called an iron plate. Now for me to do this, I need to use some fuel again. This will produce this will result in iron plates right here. And so this is basically how you start. You start producing metal, you start producing energy, and you may have to run it back and forth at first, and you may have to actually do this a few times until you can actually automate certain things. Eventually, you'll be able to produce other things, like you can actually turn all of this into electric energy, which it doesn't actually produce any pollution, because if you look really closely, you notice that there's smoke coming out. If this smoke goes toward like plant life or anywhere else where there's like life, it will start destroying it slowly. As a matter of fact, everything here has something called pollution. Now this one is pollution of 10. This is actually pretty high. My furnace also has high pollution, and if you have a lot of furnaces, which I'm going to have in a second, you'll see that they'll actually start basically destroying life. They'll start causing a lot of climate change. There will be a lot of terrain change, and the creatures that live here will not like that. They'll start attacking you, and you'll have to defend yourself, which is why this game has weapons. It has a lot of turrets. It even has tanks, as a matter of fact. You can even make a tank to try to defeat certain monsters in this game. But obviously all of this is caused by the fact that you are polluting the nature. And on top of all of this, there is also something called research. It says press C for research, and if you go into there, your jaw will probably drop, because there's a lot of things you can research. There's a huge amount of stuff you can research. Most of these things I haven't even tried yet. There's energy shield equipment, there's different modules, there's discharge defense, there's all these lasers you can create. Alien technology, there's just a huge amount of stuff. And your goal, if you're actually playing in this mode, is to basically create a rocket that can then go into space and, I believe, just deliver something or possibly launch satellites. As soon as you can do that, you basically win the game, but it's actually relatively difficult to achieve that. And what we're going to do now is actually, let's create our first automated metal extractor. So I'm going to place two drills right here, 1 and 2. So these will need energy, which means that we have to click on them, separate our coal, put one in here, put another one in here. And let's put transport belt as well, so that it actually transports things automatically. They're all going to run this way. And oh, we need another one. I think we need another one. Okay, we're missing one. We're going to place this there in a second. And then we're going to have one arm right here, picking things up and putting them into a forge, which is going to be in this location. And there we go. So this will now automatically create metal for us, as long as we place more energy into all of the things we're using there. So I'm going to go back into my chest here, pick up the rest of my coal, and place it into all of these machines. So now this is all automated. It's basically being transported directly into the forge, and the forge is going to be making metal for us for as long as there is coal everywhere. Now this is basically how you'll start. This is the first machine you'll be making, and it's actually going to be relatively effective, relatively fast. As you basically advance, you'll turn this into electric power drills and electric power mills, and eventually you'll be able to create some other advanced stuff. And if you're a sandbox type of a person, you're going to love this. This is actually so much fun, especially trying to optimize things, trying to create these connections. Like, for example, when you start producing electric power, you'll actually have to find water. And using water, what you'll need to do is you'll have to use a steam engine and a boiler to try to create electrical power. And let me just show you how this works, because there's actually a campaign mode. So if you're not a sandbox person, if you just want to play through missions and follow a storyline, there's a campaign mode that allows you to learn this game really well. And so here is the campaign mode, which actually already starts you with a mini base that you get to construct in the tutorial. And as you can see, there's a lot of things going on here, but there's actually a storyline where you're trying to find other survivors on this planet, and you're basically trying to discover what happened to them and what they're up to and what they're doing. But you'll notice that this is a pretty complex base. This is actually a base that already has already lots of different things going on here. You actually don't have to start from scratch. You can kind of upgrade this base. You can add to it. You can look into what needs to be produced. You can actually look into what needs to be defended. There's a radar here that explores the map for you, discovers certain locations on the map. And there's, of course, the gun turrets right here that actually will protect you when the creatures come. And you'll see them attacking once in a while. They will actually come at random times, more so at night than during the day. But all of this is super fun. I actually, when I started my first game, I wasn't sure what's going on, but as soon as I figured out the little tidbits, as soon as I figured out how the game works and what makes it efficient, or what makes it actually work a lot faster. Like, for example, this right here is not very efficient. See how all of my coal is stuck on this transporter belt? So I would probably have to change this somehow to make this more efficient, because these boilers that are essentially warming up the water so that they can go into the steam engine so they can then produce electricity, which, by the way, is a very awesome teachable moment that is definitely related to education, is actually all, like, this is all connected. It's all related. It's all sort of cause and effect. And a lot of these things will obviously then produce pollution that you see right here. And so these poor trees will unfortunately start dying. And this entire terrain with time will actually turn yellow or brown, which is awesome. And there's also wind, as you can see. So as the wind changes direction, the pollution goes different directions. So as you can see, this game is absolutely awesome. I mean, this game is actually really simple, but at the same time is so complex, and this is what makes it real fun. But I can't really review a game without mentioning some of the negatives, and I guess the biggest negative here would be, of course, the graphics. Now, so for some people, this would be a very sort of a important part, important aspect, and so not everyone is going to enjoy these two-dimensional pixelated graphics, but I honestly really like it, and I kind of like how simple it is, how retro it is, and how it actually reminds me of Command & Conquer. I also think that many people will find this a little bit too challenging, especially the fact that you only really get one life. Oh, here they come. I think I'm being attacked. And here they are attacking me. I'm gonna try to kill them if I can. No, gotta run away. Turrets, help me! And we died. So as you can see, yes, this is probably another negative. For some people at least, they'll find this game kind of difficult. If you die, that's it. It's game over. There's only one life, and you have to restart from scratch. But for me personally, it's actually a positive. I actually do like challenging games, and I think because this is so hard, it makes me play more carefully. Unlike Minecraft, where you can kind of go anywhere and die as many times as you want, here you only get one life. But because this is a campaign mode, you actually have to follow these objectives to try to complete these missions. And if you're not sure about your abilities, if you think you're gonna die, you can always save your game. So there's a save game here that will allow you to save your game so that you don't have to restart from scratch if you end up dying. And if you get bored with the campaign mode, you can always go into one of the scenarios, like for example this one here, supply mode, where you have a mission, and your mission is to essentially, in a limited time, try to, with the limited resources, try to put certain things into certain chests. So you have 5 minutes to put 15 stone, and you have to put it into these chests right here. I don't really know where the stone is here, and I haven't really... Oh, here it is. I haven't played this mission yet, but essentially this is where you can kind of try to challenge yourself and try to complete these really challenging missions that will actually require a slightly different way of thinking. So here you're not really trying to create an amazing super complex, but you're doing almost the opposite. You're trying to create something really simple using almost no resources and a limited amount of time and amount of materials that you have available on this map, in this game. And to be honest, all in all, I think this is a pretty awesome title. It has so many different game options, it has so many different game modes. There's also multiplayer, and of course the fact that this game will be mod friendly and will probably have lots and lots of mods definitely makes me think that this will be a very popular title when it actually comes out. And so I think if you haven't really tried this game yet, or if you haven't heard of it, now would be a really good time to get it, because it's about to hit Steam and it might be actually still on sale as an early access game. And so if you're like me and you just like to construct things, you like to build industrial complexes, and you like to explore and research and just create a huge wall of defenses that basically protects your main base, that is really a resource base and nothing else, then this is definitely a game for you, and it's super fun. So give this game a try, and I'm posting the link for this game in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share this game with your friends and someone else who you think may like games similar to Minecraft that allow you to construct things. I'll see you guys in the next video. Game you later, and bye bye.